Hello everybody, welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today I have something a little different. I have a 9 by 12 sheet of Ranson heritage watercolor paper. This is 100% cotton. I had it in a packet of 12, so I pulled it out of that. I'm doing a little different experiment. In kind of sad news, the last of our pet rats passed away, and it was Opal. So our pet rat Opal passed, and I figured I'd just kind of try to paint a rat. I have Google opened up on the side. There's a whole bunch of free images of rats. I had some pictures of Opal, but recently I had cleared my phone of videos and pictures and all that, because filming directly to my phone, it was running out of space. So I have some pictures of Opal, but I just figured I'd look at different gestures and just play around. So I saturated this paper before I had started filming, just to conserve time. I took a little bit of alizarin crimson and passed that over. I think I'll grab a little bit of ultramarine. I'm just taking the hake, and I think I'll use the squirrel mop. Kind of just feed rich colors in and see what happens. Just kind of play around. I may stop at times just to get fresh colors from tubes. I feel like this is something that should be, bright and colorful. But we'll just see what happens. It's ultramarine. Let's see. This is kind of just that arching back and that body coming up. Some burnt sienna, and it's going to diffuse, and I'm going to allow it to diffuse and just experiment and see what happens. Put the head in this region. Honestly, for the style that I'm thinking of, this is light red oxide, I think you'd have to be pretty deft with it in order to achieve the gestures of an animal within a short period of strokes. But it's fun to experiment, fun to learn. Start allowing the ears to take place, a little snoot. Let's see. I feel like a light red oxide is fun for this. I'll feed in Payne's Gray along that back ridge. I'll be in that region. Kind of chase portions of that tail. And while we're wet and wet, let me clean off this lemon yellow. Just experiment with just feeding colors in. seeing what happens. All right, let's pause it for a second. I'm going to do a dry off. All right, and now I feel that since I'm getting gestural here, I'm dried off. Let's try to get tighter marks, interesting marks with this. Alizarin, ultramarine. Feeding water in. So I'm losing that tightness that I was going for. Payne's gray. So I'm kind of experimenting. My mind's going in different directions with this, and I apologize for that. But hopefully something actually comes out of this. Hopefully I wind up uploading it. Maybe I might back off and not upload. We'll see. Feet. Little grabby hands. I feel like I want to grab some raw sienna. A little lighter parts. And the snoot. Feed into the ears. You get ultramarine blue. Down here. Bring that wash around. It's gonna lose those harsh edges I just put in, but you know, we're all about experimenting on this channel. This is just grabbing water and dragging this around. And then it'll dry off in a moment. We'll see where we're at. I do feel like I want to put some darks in around her butt. The Payne's gray. I'll darken where that shadow would come close. See here. Do that there. All right, let me pause for a second. We'll do another dry off. I am enjoying this kind of wet wash. Here's that alizarin crimson. It's working really well with that ultramarine. That and the Payne's gray and that raw sienna. So I'm kind of just pushing that back and forth. I genuinely don't know at what point for something like this you would stop. It's just kind of an idea in the mind, like kind of a style. Not really sure what the terminology is for it. I'm really liking that raw sienna in there. And grabbing kind of wetter mixers and pulling it around. Just like birds and all that, the feet feel awkward for me. I'm not really an animal painter. So I'm just going back and forth between ultramarine, that raw sienna, there's some nice raw sienna in for the ears. I just want to help her kind of sit in place. Let's give her a nice long tail. Snoop. Very hands, feet. Bring that tail around. Her eye, go right in here. And I can grab the rigger and use a thin line for little whiskers. There's a few different ear positions for rats. We had one rat, Willow, who had passed away about 2 weeks ago, and we knew that Opal being the last one, her time was going to come because of that. They have Dumbo ears, where the ears are lower on the side of the head. It's really cute and adorable. And then they just have the standard ears. Opal had standard ears. She was actually a white rat, and Opal, what we call her. But like I said, this is just kind of just painting a rat, just you know, to paint an animal, and I guess it's a little lethargic, not lethargic, cathartic. Cathartic would be the word. So it's a little cathartic, you know. I'm taking the rigger with the Payne's Gray just to kind of accentuate some of the curvatures. That might be a little too much right there. But yeah, so Opal was, you know, one of the standard kind of white with red eyes. And she was smaller than the other rats. And she was like always, like if it was treat time, she would come out to get a treat, grab the treat, and then go stash it, then come to another location in the cage to get a treat from there, like I guess kind of pretending to be a different rat and getting a treat there. And it was just, you know, who she was. They all had different personalities. me bring that shadow down to here. Let me pause this for a moment. Okay, I did a dry off, and I also put out some gouache. I figured I'll put in the black gouache for like eyes and some dark highlights. I'll then dry off and put the white highlights on top of all that. And I figured that'll kind of just give it the necessary pop in some areas. Let's see what happens. Kind of almost like a Chinese ink type feel to it. Or maybe an illustrative type look to it. Kind of contour. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to use it as a contour. Hope it's showing up good in the camera. Looking through it, it was looking a little dark. So hopefully these textural effects will help. This ear should be smaller, but it's okay since it's not realistic. All right, let me pause real quick to do a quick dry off of that. Yeah, in the video it's looking darker than it is in actuality. So when I take the photograph, I'll lighten it up. Well, I won't lighten it up, I'll take it with better lighting, or I'll have that on it. Let's try to dry brush. Did I just destroy the whole thing? That'll be a good thing for those of you watching out there. Would you have added the gouache? Or would you have left the gouache out? Feel free to comment down below, and why. Would you have taken a different approach? I will say this was fun, because if you watch this channel, you know I don't really play around with animals that much. So that was interesting doing that. I feel like those whites could really be explored quite a bit. Some of the rats will have dark backs and whiter bellies, but I wonder how that lightness, and that's why I did the raw sienna here, how that lightness, if you were to take white there, how that would affect the shape and perspective. Anywho, let's see if I have a little mat to put over this, just to see what it looks like, and we'll sign it. So those of you guys with pets out there, give them an extra hug tonight. You know, let them know you love them. This is an 8 by 10 opening, so I painted it a little bit larger. This is a 9 by 12 sheet. So it just kind of gives you a little bit of idea. So usually I'm 11 by 14, so I keep things in size. Anywho, let me sign this. And, you know, of course, please like, subscribe, comment. Check me out on Patreon and other things. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great day.